Right, hi everyone. Welcome to today's Cluster API v1.6 release cycle retrospective meeting. Today is 8th of December 2023. In this meeting, we'll be going through how and what went well in this release cycle, what could be improved, and based on those two items or discussions, we'll be kind of having the action items outlined, and the next release teams can take benefit of it or use it to improve the things that we think went bad, or basically how we can improve. So I'm sharing already the screen. We'll be following, I hope everyone has the access to it. In case, I'll share it in the chat. So we can go, how it goes. The format is everyone can go and, put their thoughts on what went well, and also what could be improved. We'll have some time, probably 5 minutes, let's see, to start with. And once we have items collected onto categories, then we can go one by one. If needed, we can condense them. If not, then we'll be expanding, and every person who writes each item will give a bit explanation, and so on and so forth. And based on that, we can come up with action items. And also, if you see someone typing the same thing that you're thinking, or like you're planning to write, you can just put +1, and then we can discuss, or if it aligns to your thoughts. But if it's not there, please add it there, so we will discuss and get your opinion. All right. How does that sound for everyone? Okay, cool. Then I'll probably stop sharing, and then let's time box. I'll be keeping an eye on the watch, so probably 5 minutes, and after that I'll start sharing back, and we can discuss. Right? Cool. I'm stopping the share. All right. As I'm seeing, folks are still typing, so 2-3 more minutes probably. Okay, so sharing back my screen. All right, we have a bunch of things here already. Thanks, folks, for your inputs. Let's go probably talk about one by one. So one with from the what went well, and one the next with what could be improved, probably, rather than going everything at once. Right, starting with Guillermo. Generating release notes requires much less effort than in previous release, thanks to the work previous teams made.
Yeah. So I was in the previous cons team, so I know how long it took, and I also heard stories about how long it took before I even joined, which used to be way worse. And I think this is just a very great example of how the benefits of doing these improvement tasks pay dividends over time. They probably won't pay the dividends the release cycle where you are doing that work, which becomes difficult to it becomes difficult to see the reward if you don't stay on the release team for multiple cycles, which most of us won't be able to do. But this is a reminder for everyone that all the luxuries that we have now is because other folks in the past put that work. So it's important for us to keep putting that work so others can keep enjoying those things in the future. But yeah, it's so better right now.
I second you here. Yeah, so previous release teams that in fact they did a great job putting it, the tool that we can use ourselves, and they build it from scratch. And yeah, big kudos, I would say. All right, any thoughts? If not, then next one from Stephen. Sorry, I thought we'll go to the what could be improved. Sorry, CI signal. So Adil.
Yes, yeah. So this thing, I think last time CI team was a bit confused about if the we should do the green or not, because we had a lot of flakes also, and then in the end maintainers decided we cannot drop the test and we should keep the test and fix this flake. So there was, I think, these also like the responsibilities for the CI teams, and that is also was not clear previously. I think there is a GitHub issue related to that already. I think discussion is already going on there. I was following up what is the responsibility of the CI team. And now things are a bit more clear, I think. But yeah, let's see how things go this time. But yeah, last time there were some confusions about the CI signal and how to handle the flakes, which flakes we should fix earlier and which we can say like they are okay. We can just go ahead with the release. Let's see how it goes this time. Yeah.
All right. Am I getting you right that we are lacking some kind of documentation around it, or it
Yes.
was okay?
One thing is the documentation, like what is the responsibility of the CI team. Regarding the issue that we have on the GitHub, I think that is still going on. Is it added in the documentation or is still the issue right now? I'm not sure about that.
Which one are you referring to? Is it introducing a new team or roles to aid the
Yes,
CI signal? Yeah, that's
yeah,
still
that one.
on the issue. That's still on the issue.
Yeah, so maybe we can add some thing in the docs, like what CI team is responsible for. That would be nice. Yeah. I think there's most needed.
Yeah, but the CI team already has the responsibilities documented pretty much, right? Do you want to expand on some areas, like what are the things that CI team should be responsible, and what are the things that shouldn't be? Is that what I'm getting, or it's something else that's missing? Sorry if I'm not getting you.
Yeah, I will check the document again. About I think this link that Stephen has shared, this is let me see this one.
Yeah, so you mean responsibilities of the
Yeah,
CI team should be expanded or clarified?
yeah, expanded. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
little
Okay.
bit
Okay.
more.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now it's clear.
Yeah. Also, like I
Mhm.
think Nawaz is also here. Also regarding the flakes, if there are flakes, how should we should communicate with the maintainers? We should we pause them and yeah, stuff like that. If there are some flakes that we are not able to fix ourselves, a little bit complicated for the CI teams to fix them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I got your idea. So that is
Yeah.
relevant to this one, probably this issue that we just talked about, the new team
Yes.
or
Yes.
new role. Yeah. Now I got your idea. That totally makes sense.
Yes.
Nawaz,
I think
you
Nawaz
want to
is
add
also,
something?
yeah.
First of all, super sorry, everyone. I had a super late flight from yesterday. We had this team meeting going on and missed the notification. But I'm going over all the retro notes. Once again, sorry about that.
No worries, Nawaz. Just feel free to add probably at the end of each what went well and what could be improved, so that we have time to go through at the end, because we are coming from the top. If that works for you. Meanwhile, I'm writing the action items. So let's see. Hope this summarize what you wanted to say. Adil, feel free to add. All right, let's go ahead. The next one, Stephen, we made a lot of progress on improvement tasks, hoping to continue this momentum into the next release cycle.
Yeah, I don't really have too much more to add aside from that. Kind of ties into Guillermo's previous point, but I think it's important that these tests, we can see the impact of them, and I'm looking forward to next cycle getting a bit more of an understanding of the continuity of how these things work. And I think it does tie in a little bit to one of your points, Rakat, about like formalizing the handover too. I think that's probably a nice addition to ensure that we're keeping communication clear across the cycles and just being as kind of thorough as possible and maintaining continuity throughout. But yeah, it's kind of it, not too much else.
Thanks. Yeah, I hope so that we made the progress, although we still have some open tasks there. But yeah, folks are working on different things, but I'm overall very happy with the progress we made on the tracking issue. Probably I can show it for a sec here. So there were around 35 tasks that I had, but out of those 23 are kind of done marked here. But there are, of course, will not do cancel things here, but there were things that were really important to the release team activities, and they were done and completed. So well done, everyone here. Okay, so next one, Guillermo. Effort and time dedicated to release team inconsistent over time, probably due to priorities changing for folks in the team.
Yeah. Well, first thing, I just want to make sure that no one takes this personally, because this is not about anyone in particular. This includes myself. But I have noticed that we've been in general, and I said we, not everyone, just we in general, inconsistent with the amount of time that we dedicate to the release team. Sometimes we get assigned to a task and it gets extended over the course of weeks, where it shouldn't have taken that long, and that makes it difficult to continue the follow-ups, because whoever is your reviewer switches context and then it takes back. It takes time to go back to it. Folks start responding to messages, and then we don't hear about them for a week, so we don't really know what the status of something is. It's okay if things take longer than expected because your priorities change, but in a way we are a team, so we need to keep each other in the loop of what we're doing or we can be doing in case that priorities changes, etc. I don't have a solution. I don't, this is one of the things that happens when you are in an open source project, and here people are volunteering their time. But maybe folks have ideas on how to make this better. And maybe we make better by improving, the experience of the release team members. I don't know.
Thanks, Guillermo. I see multiple plus ones here from almost everyone. Nawaz?
I agree with Guillermo what he had to say. I mean, in fact, I myself was not present for some of the major releases. But going back a little bit, I think having multiple sync times for the team was probably adding to the stress, I guess. So I was thinking if one of the points, if release team meeting itself could be used to sync with the teams, so that there is just one syncing time, and individual teams, if they want, they can always spin up something ad hoc. But then rather than giving the team leads the freedom to have their independent syncs, I don't know, I'd like to know you guys' thought on this. If we could prioritize release team as the central point of contact for all of us to sync up, and then probably break out if we have something important to discuss. I think that could add to streamlining the process of release team syncs, and probably establishing that, okay, this is the time we definitely commit to. Just a thought.
That is,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, I was just that makes sense to me, but I will say on the comms team, at least, we didn't have any other meetings. Each Wednesday meeting plus the release calls when we had released that week, those were the only meetings that we had. And we still saw the same problem. So, I think what you're suggesting probably can improve. But at least from my side, I can tell you that won't solve the problem completely, because without any other meetings in the comms team, we'll still see it.
Yeah, I think that's also team dependent probably, or I would say team leads should be or try to be kind of like more approaching, and try to, I don't know, organize some kind of their own team meetings. I don't know, once a month, once in 2 weeks probably, if that might help. But on the other hand, also introducing the application process if needed might also help. I don't know, because there would be some selection, and people who are in the release team, who'll be in the release team, will be chosen based on their time availability and so on and so forth. If we make it so that we have some kind of process to get selected to the new teams, but that's another thing that we have. Yeah, that's really hard from my point of view as well. Any other thoughts?
I just have one thought to that with respect to CI signal team. I think we would need a meeting at the start for like getting introduced to the pros of infrastructure, like pro infrastructure in general.
Sorry, Anurag, I'm not sure if I got your idea. Could you please repeat? Or if someone else could explain, probably, if they got it.
I didn't get it either. Probably I couldn't hear Anurag.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
some echo probably. Not echo. Yeah, some voice,
I
not
think
clearly. Yeah.
he just posted in the chat. He's saying Prow Infra is complex at the start, and we need meeting at the start. He's probably suggesting for an introduction to Prov and Testgrid sort of a meeting, just to ease people into it.
But I think going forward, we documented at least the onboarding session. So each sub-team lead should have onboarding session with the team members in the first week when the release cycle kicks in, if that helps, probably. And that should cover basically, let's say if it's the CI lead, CI lead should organize the introduction meeting or onboarding session. Thanks, Vili. And on that session, they should be going through, things like Prow, test grid, and how E2 tests work, and so on and so forth. And that's actually documented already in the release tasks, I think. Or we have a separate document for that called onboarding session. Would that help, Anurag?
Yes, definitely. I think the onboarding session which Nawaz gave us was really good. Like from that meeting, I took the bookmarks that I need to have in my browser so that I can keep looking on the CI jobs time to time. So that meeting was really helpful, and I just wanted to note that down.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Cool. And Nawaz?
Also, adding to what Anurag said, I think he's coming from a really good perspective. Test grid could be really daunting for anyone just starting out. I was wondering, especially from to get a review from everyone, especially from the CAI folks as well. Was the onboarding session just introducing to the test grid enough, or do you think we could probably pick up one of the test suite and also dive into it just to give an idea, or how would it go? Uh, any thoughts you guys have?
I think now, can I go ahead?
Yeah, but Guillermo also has his hand up.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
No. It's mine is like a kind of like separate parallel question. So you guys finish that and I'll wait. Don't worry.
I think onboarding session pretty much should help at least to onboard the new person, and it's of course up to that person, to dig further and get to know the new thing and try it out probably. Because yeah, it's hard really to have everyone with the same knowledge base. So having an onboarding session at the beginning is good so that they know kind of the tools that would be interacting with or using throughout the cycle, and they can build on that knowledge further, probably independently. That's my thinking.
I think from my side, I would add that we will need a lot more meetings apart from the starting one, because when I started looking at the logs of the CI job, then it was really hard for me. Like the first time I reported it, it was like something is missing in prop directory, and I was not knowing that okay, this is not the signal. This is obvious thing that is happening across the jobs, right? So I would appreciate a session where say somebody would say that okay, look, these are the obvious errors. Don't look into that. Like and Nawaz, you remember like there was an authentication error, like something with respect to webhooks was getting declined every time, and it was an obvious thing. Like, but I was not knowing that before. So knowing what is signal and what is obvious things is uh is something I would appreciate at the start of the release cycle. Someone like someone can guide me, like who has been looking at logs for a long while.
Yeah, I'm also getting it right. I see multiple hands. And Nawaz?
I also saw Adil's hand up. But to answer your question, Anurag, you're right. Yeah, I remember that instance. For me, especially when I started into the CI stuff, it was more about a little more experience with seeing the tests failures and then having an idea of what E2E tests were. And then I was able to figure out, oh, probably if it's failing here, this is probably the place where I need to look into. Uh, but yes, I think if someone's starting new and there is a commitment of 4 months and we are trying to achieve CI stability, I think it would be much beneficial if we probably just dive down into one test suite and then see, oh, this is probably how you would see the responses on CI. I think that should be really helpful.
All right, Adil, and then I think probably we should move on, folks, with other items. We don't have that much time. Adil?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's okay if you don't know a lot of stuff about the like logs of the CAPI, because obviously a lot of the people who join that this release team, they are pretty new to the CAPI also sometimes. So if you don't know, it's okay. you don't have to have a like really deep knowledge. You can ask in the we had a separate chat CI team. You can ask there and keep learning. I think it's fine. I'm not sure we need to document that. I think it's if the shadowing, they can keep on learning the whole release cycle. I don't think we need to document that much that we should put which logs are obvious and which are not. But yeah, that's my opinion about that.
I'm not sure if you have action point for this one. Correct me, Fox, if I'm wrong. Just put that in the action items. Anurag, if that covers what you wanted to bring, yeah, just please add it to action items. Then we can discuss it further, if that's okay.
I do think there is an action item. I'm sorry, I don't want to prolong this for longer, but I think the action item is to encourage folks to be transparent about how much time they're being able to allocate to the team. Because when you join the release team, you are committing to X amount of time, and that is in our docs, how much time you are committing to. I understand that it's a multi-month process, so you can't prevent the future, things change. Just keep the team updated, and if things change and you can't allocate as much time as you committed at the beginning, to say it, and I think that's completely fine. I hope that everyone feels comfortable sharing those things here. I think everyone is understanding of all those things, but I think keeping the team updated of those things is what prevents tasks being dragged forever, etc. Because we can react to those priority changes and find some other folks who might be interested in taking that work.
Okay, can I also add something to it? Not that I want to drag it again. Sorry, Furqat. Just that I think in my experience, there are also people who are just joining in to just get a feel of how open source works. And there are also students who are joining in. So they could undercommit their what do they say? Availability or commitment. They could also overcommit it. So I think I think it also the leads need to keep it in mind that there are folks who are going to be available throughout the spectrum. Some will evolve, some will not. But that ties down to the last point about what could improve. I have added, but that's one thing which I wanted to just put it out, that there are also students who just joining in to just get a feel of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. And as long as that's clear, right, to everyone, I think that's great, right? It's like, hey, this is how much time I'm gonna be able to commit to, or like I'm not able to commit any time at all, right? I'm just gonna be here to learn and just be a fly on the wall, learn as much as I can. I think that's also great. But that just comes back to the transparency topic. But yeah, you made a great point. Thank you.
Thanks, folks, for the points. Yeah, probably it's up to the leads then to decide, and I'm not sure if we should document it really, but yeah, that makes sense, all the above points. If that's okay, I'll just move to the next one. So we were talking about what? I think this one. What went well? So GitHub automation to prepare a release for us was super useful. Yeah, that was very actually handy because we had less dependency on the maintainers in this release cycle, I would say. It was just publishing the release itself and reviewing the image promotion PRs. But other than that, all the stuff was kind of taken care by GitHub automation, which was super cool and very useful. Also, yeah, more points on that. So we added some owner files to specific folders which are relevant to release team. And I think that also should help going forward to ease the review process and, you know, PRs getting merged with a bit less dependency on the maintainers, but of course with caution, because release lead, of course, the responsible for the what's getting merged, basically, because of the approval rights and release members, as usual. All right, anything to add here? Otherwise, I'll move to the next point on Guillermo. Release calls still take a decent amount of time. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just reading it. Just go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. This is just for the days where we do the release. I'm not talking about the meetings that we have every week. So just on Tuesdays when we have the release. You know, most of the time it's like over an hour, especially when we're doing multiple releases. Sometimes 2 hours, sometimes an hour and a half, depending on like how many trouble we have. I don't have a solution. I think this is the way it is. Releasing something like CAPI takes time, and we've done a great job trying to shorten that up. I don't know if we can keep working towards making it shorter. It's just, I'm recognizing that it's difficult sometimes to do that with your daily job duties, or a student, whatever, right? Your daily responsibilities outside of CAPI, because it's a big chunk of time that you need to allocate and that you sometimes can't be doing, and you can't be multitasking. So I don't know if folks have ideas, but just putting it out there, it's definitely something that can be improved. I just don't know how.
No idea either. Tell me if there is. Stephen?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, and I think there is a carryover from one of the jobs that seems to be time consuming, that ended up having a bug in it that we kind of uncovered. So I think that's something we can carry over to the next release cycle and further investigate. Something Furkat and I also were discussing, could be an option is, you know, I think it ties in with some of the other points here of kind of the rotations, you know, and I would obviously leave that up to the leads to kind of decide on, but, you know, maybe having like a more formalized schedule of like, hey, you know, so-and-so is going to be responsible for X release, and having it be a bit more of like a whoever can show up, shows up. And I know it's difficult across time zones, but one potential solution would be like, hey, this is your release cycle, so you're going to be the representative from the comps team for release on date X, and then kind of cycle those through the team. Obviously, that can tie in with the regular responsibilities too, but could be a potential change that we can make. It wouldn't be a huge difference.
Yeah, another solution might be we open a PR. Let's say if we have 3 releases scheduled, that's the usual, except this beta and RCs. Let's say we have 3 releases scheduled. We prepare release notes, PRs at this cycle in advance. And yeah, there were some things that we had to hotfix or update. I think probably, if it makes sense, we could start merging the PRs earlier or before the call, at least, you know, to get them in, but we have to make sure that it's reviewed and ready, so that we merge it, and then during the call, even after the image from the pro jobs running, you could have a call probably for shorter time. That might help. I'm not sure, because most of the time goes for jobs running in Pro, and one of them is like 25 minutes. And if you have 3 releases, even though they are going in parallel, it takes time. So yeah. Any other thoughts? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a difficult one, I would say. And I don't have a GitHub action item here to add. So probably something to you have to think. Okay, the next one. I think this is already covered on your side, Stephen. We made a lot of progress on improvement tasks, so I'll just skip it over. The next one is Adil, CI jobs to community cluster, transferring and then following up on issues that we were seeing in our CI. Do you want to expand on that, or that's fine as is?
Yeah, I think that's fine. In the start, when we, I think, transferred the 1.3 job, there were a lot of flakes. It was totally failing. I think kudos to Nawaz. Nawaz followed up on those issues and we fixed a lot of them. And now we still have some flakes, but no, they are very little. And we have transferred the other jobs also. I think we have transferred 1.5 and 1.4 also. 1.6 we still have to transfer, I think. Yeah, I think that went good.
Yes, yeah. That was a good job on the CI team. Thanks, folks. Let's see. So next one is find out a better way to handle rotation within the team members. I think we kind of discussed this. Yeah, so this release cycle probably we didn't do that good with this task, and I'd like to just bring this up here, and I would like to see of it being better handled, probably, because what I noticed is probably from the teams, it was one or two folks usually who I could approach, or if I have any problems to ask. But I would like to see more rotation kind of thing, so that everyone would be approachable, and everyone has their own job, and the time is kind of limited, so it would be good if the share is kind of equally loaded between the 10 members. And but yeah, we already documented this. I don't have a solution. I don't know what we can do further rather than documenting it. So if you have any ideas, just speak up. Any action items on this? If not, okay, I'll move to the next. So we were here. Namaz, CI team stopped up whenever required. Shout out to Adil and Anurag on various occasions. Do you want to expand on it, Nawaz?
Yeah, I mean, I think the 1.6 release, I was mostly not really available during beta releases in RC, and I think Adil stepped up, and there was always Anurag to follow up on migration tasks and many other CI flakes as well. I think they kept the CI conversations going around, and there was very active involvement. So I loved seeing that. Kudos to them. This could be very CI specific, CI team specific, but nonetheless, I think they deserve a shout out. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, moving to the next one. Try to formalize release team application process. That was on me. Probably it's too early to think about it, but it would probably help with different issues or things that we are discussing here, which could be improved. So I know the application process is there for Kubernetes release team. So we could take, the idea or inspiration from there, but it might be too early for the release team of the CAPI. That I can accept, yeah. But that's just idea probably to keep in mind, and in the future release teams, or yeah, we could think of formalizing this volunteering to the release team better, or in a more formalized way. Any thoughts? I see 2 plus ones. If not, that's okay. This meeting, I think, probably will be a bit over time. Is that okay if we continue for another 10 minutes for you folks? Fine. All right. Cool. Okay. Going back to the last one, Anurag.
Yes. So this is more about like calling out the release team meetings in public channels, so that folks who are not part of the release team, like I will not be part of the release team in 1.7, and if I still want to join that, I will have a chance to join that. And in general, let's look for the community as well. Like if anybody wants to jump on the release team and like contribute on the release side of that, then it's a good opportunity for them as well.
Right, so it seems like giving heads up day before was useful, as I got your idea. I'm not sure if that was documented somewhere, but yeah, that's probably a suggestion to the release lead, maybe, if they find it helpful. Yeah, I personally find it helpful because of course the time zones differences. Some folks are in US and some folks are in Europe and so on and so forth. So it was kind of it worked well when I gave the update or heads up to the whole team the day before, so that everyone is kind of aligned. And plus to that, we prepared the PRs, release notes PRs. Guillermo did a good job on that, I would say. So that was also needed to be prepared the day before, and that was one of the reasons also I did that way. So yeah. Okay, I think that's not probably not needed to be documented. And next one is on me, looks like. Documenting, handing over the responsibilities or remaining tasks to the next team lead. Currently, we don't have such a thing. It's not documented anywhere, and it would be probably helpful, at least to outline some stuff like, sharing the host keys, since the next release lead should be able to facilitate the meetings, some open tasks, let's say improvement tasks that we have currently, or other things. So kind of handover meeting from the, current release lead to the next might be helpful going forward in the release teams. So that was the idea here, that we could have some kind of documentation around it. I'm not sure if I should move some of the stuff here that we are discussing to GitHub action items. Do we agree or not? Which ones I should move? Probably, let's say, do we all agree that we should have some kind of documentation for handing over the responsibilities to the team, to the lead? All right. I'll just take these.
We can
Oh,
also
yeah.
make it kind of like optional too, you know, if people want to communicate async and they feel confident and that everything has been handed over, but we can at least make a note that it's, you know, I found it helpful, like Furkat and I met yesterday, so we can document it, and then if people want to make it more formal, following up on that, you know, that's cool too.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest something similar. Maybe we just add an item saying, hey, for the new lead, feel free to reach out to the previous lead and get on the same page. I'll confess I'm completely biased because I'm very against adding processes unless they are completely necessary. But maybe just saying to folks, hey, it's okay if you want to reach out to, you know, to the previous lead to get on the same page if it's not clear based on whatever it's left. I think that could be good.
I'll fix it later. Yeah, but yeah, I got your point and added it as an action item. Thanks. Then next one, that's also on me. Simplify the release docs folder structure. Yeah, so currently we have one document, release task.md, which outlines basically, probably I could show it for a sec, which basically outlines all the responsibilities of each team, release lead, comms team, and CI team, and it's rather kind of huge. So what I was thinking, probably we could probably break it down to its own folders and to its own files, so that it's easier to go through them, and it's much more cleaner, because it's probably this task, this list will get bigger and bigger over the time, and it would be one idea that we could do to have it a bit cleaner, but that's not a big thing actually. The next, are there any comments on this? If not, then I'll move to the next one because we are done with what went well. Formalize a new team if needed to aid the CI. Yeah, so I added these. That's the one that we were discussing with Adil as well. This is still open, that we were discussing if we should have additional team or role to aid with CI things. It's just, I'm just bringing up here because we need to probably follow up on this, and whatever the outcome of this issue, that could aid probably or hopefully the next release teams, especially the CI team. So I already CC'd the release lead and CI leads. So please watch out, and if you have any thoughts, just add here. And in my personal opinion, if we introduce a new role or new team, even that could be done anytime, even in the middle of the cycle. So if it helps to the CI team, that's very helpful. So it's just for your information that there is this issue, and this might help with the future team CI problems. Any thoughts? Any comments on this? If not, then I see Navas, the last point on you.
Yes. I think this I did bring this up a little bit earlier. But I was suggesting if we could centralize syncing with the teams on during around CAPI release team sync as well, and then probably break out maybe before the start of release team or maybe later. But since it could conflict with CAPI office hours, I'm not sure if breaking out after would work. But this suggestion was just to minimize the individual syncing meetings individual teams could have, because it is very specific to how leads want to lead their team. So I was thinking, if what do you guys say, if CI CAPI release team meeting itself could be prioritized, and then there could be follow-up breakouts from there, instead of having our own breakout sessions or sync up sessions per team. But as Guillermo said that he did not have any meetings, so this suggestion gets more interesting now. I mean, still looking to get folks' thought.
Right. Any feedback or any thoughts on this? See, sounds good. +1. +1 from my side as well, I would say, unless it will not be, more meetings to the folks. Why not?
Cool. I think this was more or less like a meta point. Not really an action item is needed on this, because this thing changes over every release, and every changes by every release lead. But I think it was more of a meta point for just us to be keep in mind that, yeah, this is a voluntary position. So agreeing to what Furkat said, yes, we need to minimize the number of meetings.
Well, of course, if it helps, I'd love to see more meetings. Why not? I'm not against it. I was just saying, yeah, we didn't have much meetings. Even with the release lead shadows, it was mostly async over the Slack. But yeah, probably it's worth trying to have more meetings and see if that helps. But I probably second you on CI team. I think it's more beneficial in terms of at least the CI team, because there are more things that team needs sync up and sharing of knowledge. Okay. If that doesn't need the action item, I'm at the end of the list, and we are a bit over time. Is there anything that you would like to add that's not in this list, in the list of what could be improved, or should we cut the call here? It's just time if you'd like to add anything. Navas?
Anurag put in a really good point. He says that in the chat, although he says that I want to extend a release task after image promotion, where we also validate the image using cosine. As of now, we only validate it via pulling the images via tags.
Yeah, so, but that would be the change probably in the test infra or in the code base, right? It's not really the action point, or do you want me to document it here?
No, because I meant it in a way like when we were releasing 1.6, you asked us like we can check it out individually on our system that whether the image is being pulled or not. Like we validated it and now it's dependent, and you also did on your side. So the time where we are validating things by pulling, we can also validate like whether the image build is correct or not.
Navas?
To answer what Anurag is saying, I think Anurag, that was more or less just to make sure that the image was ready to be pulled, and image was already present in the Docker hub or the registry wherever we were pushing GCR registry. Yes. But I don't think that was probably the validation step, but I could be getting you wrong.
I see on the chat, Stephen shared the issue. So if it's about this, if the image contains the correct binaries, yes, we did. And we were running it manually because, yeah, that's the right issue actually. Because we wanted to make sure that we don't publish something that has, incorrect binary. And yeah, there is an issue, this one, current one, that they'd like to introduce some kind of CI check in the CAPI itself, so that before promoting images, there will be a check to see if the image is fine, basically. It doesn't contain any kind of incorrect binary. Would that cover, or would that answer your question, Anurag, or that was something different?
Oh, Anurag is, yeah, okay, that's opened up. Cool.
Okay, so you want to document probably this step? Like we have to verify the image signatures with cosign?
No, we have it documented. I just wanted to validate it right after we do pulling.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Basically, we should do this step, or we should include this step in the release process, right? Okay. Well, yes, why not? I think it makes sense. We can add it probably to the cutting a release tasks we have, wherever it's appropriate. I'll add it after this meeting. If that's fine, I think we can cut the call here. Thanks, folks, for all thoughts and your suggestions. Apart from that, I would also like to thank everyone in this release team for your all work and effort through this release cycle. It was amazing. I really appreciate all your help, and you did good. We achieved a lot of things probably here. So yeah, all the best luck, and see you probably around online. Thanks, folks.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Furqat. Thank you, everyone.